here he is, the Karate Master! And as such, Crobat is my best bet against this guy. It's gonna be either Psychic or Flying, and since my only Psychic move is Dream Eater, I'm gonna go with something a little bit more straightforward. Now this guy uses a Hitmonlee and a Hitmonchan. Why no Hitmontop, I don't know. Probably because he's the guy who used to run the Fighting Dojo back in the Generation 1 days, and there was no Hitmontop back then, but still. He gives you a Tyrogue as a prize for defeating him, as I've already said before. That's why you need the empty slot in your party. That's something I never really understood. In Generation 1, when you received a gift Pokemon, it was sent in the PC right away if your party was full. But from Generation 2 on, you needed an empty slot. This is, I'd say, the only way the series actually regressed over the years. And that's still on my wish list for Generation 6, by the way. That they would allow you to keep prize Pokemon and send them immediately to your PC. But either way, Tyrogue is a weird little bastard to evolve the way you want. If your attack is higher than your defense by the time you hit level 20 or whatever level it is you want to evolve it at, it's going to evolve into Hitmonlee. If its defense is higher than its attack, it's going to evolve into Hitmonchan, and if both stats are equal, which can be a real shit sucker if you're unlucky with IVs, it's going to evolve into Hitmontop. And quite frankly, I'd say it's one of the more annoying ways of evolving something ever, because that means that it's going to be a whole lot harder to EV train them the way you want, because you're going to be required to use berries if you had to invest EVs, like in defense, for example, in order to get a Hitmonchan or a Hitmontop or whatever. You get the idea. It was just not very, very good. It worked in Generation 2 since you could max out EVs in all stats, but afterwards, not so much. And by the way, I forgot to change my lead back to Entei. I'm gonna do that since it's still one level behind the rest of the team. There's nothing there? Get out of the way, Entei, thank you. Yeah, there was nothing there. It looked somewhat suspicious, but I guess not every rock can have hidden items inside. By the way, I talked about the Spooky Manor a few days ago, or maybe it was last week, or doesn't really matter. It's now live, and turns out the 6 Pokemon that I mentioned back then were not nearly all of them. We got a few really good things in that thing. Most importantly, Prankster Sableye! Yes, the ability that was said to be able to make Sableye into overused, of all things, is now accessible. And why am I saying that it's going to be overused? Because if there were an actual tiering in the Dream World metagame, it would have been overused. And why not? It's got no weakness, and a damn good move pool to exploit Prankster with. So, yeah, I know its stats are a little shoddy, but Whimsicott doesn't have much in the ways of defenses either. It's got actual weaknesses, and it's still overused. So Sableye can potentially make a big splash, and it's got priority recover too, in case you doubted it for a second. Yeah, give it a defensive EV spread, and it's going to last surprisingly long, despite its naturally frail disposition. Of course, you don't want to put too much, or rather anything, into attack or speed, because, well, it's got priority on everything that isn't direct offense, and I don't think it's going to be attacking with anything but Nightshade if it decides to attack to be able to avoid being taunted in the first place. And other than that, we got Magic Guard Alakazam now. It's gonna have to compete with Reuniclus, but Alakazam is still a lot faster, so it can pull off some things that Reuniclus can only dream of. Reuniclus, I'd say, is overall better, but Alakazam, you should still watch out for it. Okay, we're back outside Mount Mortar, so we got a few errands to take care of before we go take on the Kimono Girls. First, we have to head to Azalea Town and go grab those heavy balls that I asked Kurt to make. And, oh yeah, first we still gotta hump that tree. Tree humping, national sport of Johto. Never forget that. Anyway, white Capricorn, I don't think I'm ever gonna use it, but hey, whatever. It's there, I'm gonna take it. Heck, I don't even remember what kind of ball it makes. Only the heavy ball and the love ball are any good in very specific circumstances. Here we go, 21 heavy balls, and I'm sort of hoping that obtain the heavy balls, that line ends up being the thumbnail. I sort of doubt that'll happen, because usually it tends to happen closer to the middle of the video, and we're just barely more than a third of the way through. Anyway, next, whoops! I didn't even fly to the right place! I wanted to go to the Lake of Rage, because today is Wednesday, if you recall, and the tide is low on Wednesday. And there's one of the day siblings over at that place that we're going to need to talk to get an item. Didn't I get this item before? Huh, weird. Oh well, doesn't matter. I'm probably just gonna off-screen it. It's probably nothing very important. I'm gonna head to where that big forest maze is. And by the way, no, I don't want any references to that one song in the comments. You know what I'm talking about. Is that Wesley right there? Oh no, it's a random trainer. I totally forgot there were random trainers in this little maze. I hope he's not there on other days than Wednesday, because otherwise, yeah, probably would suffer from a slight case of dead. Anyway, now that it turns out I have the time, I was talking about the Spooky Manor earlier on. I was talking about Magikarp Alakazam. I was about to say Magic Guard Alakazam. Sorry about that. It might be making a comeback. It might make it back into overused. I'm not entirely sure on that, because Ryu Nicholas already occupies the niche of Magic Guard Mono Psychic, and it does so very, very well. Still, keep an eye on Alakazam, because there may be some life left in the old dog. Further down the pecking order, as this War Turtle proceeds to annoy the shit out of me with Protect, we got some stuff like Sheer Force Mawile, Hydration Jinx, and Prankster Volbeat that could prove to be huge improvements to those respective species, though I am certainly not expecting them to become relevant anytime soon, unlike Sableye, because it just has it's just perfect to abuse and Prankster. Though I'd say that Volbeat, just the fact that it has Prankster might actually make it jump forward from at least a tier, because Prankster, it's just such a brutal ability, very underestimated by people who don't really know the intricacies of the game, but when you learn to appreciate it, it's just amazing. No wonder that a guy like Thunderous might be considered borderline broken by some people. But other than that, not so impressive. A huge amount of Pokemon that don't even have a Dream World ability, and others that just have an ability that just plain sucks, including Cursed Body Bayonet, by the way. It was available through an event, but now it's available through the Spooky Manor as well, which means that now it has access to all of its egg moves, though they are illegal with Cotton Guard, of course. Now, okay, I think Wesley's supposed to be near that house where I got them. What did I get there anyway? Don't remember. Anyway, full restore right here. And there's also, this place that I haven't checked yet. Just hang on a second, because this is actually sort of confusing. Yeah, I know that it's pretty much the same maze as when there is water, just that there are items at the bottom of the lake now. Okay, so I guess this means that, okay, now I know. This is the area right over there that I haven't checked out yet. And I figure this has got to be the place where Wesley is, because I remember... Ah, there we go. As I was saying, I remembered this place leading to the house. Black Belt boosts fighting type moves by 20%. And, so I guess now we're done here. So, up next, we're gonna head back to Blackthorn to cash in on that extreme speed Dratini. Turns out the trigger wasn't beating the Elite Four or catching Lugia or anything, it was just getting the Dragon Pulse TM from Claire. Yeah, odd trigger if there ever was one. I'm just gonna heal my team right away, and after that I'm gonna make room for the Dratini on my team, since I still have that Tyrogue from earlier. I haven't had any cuts so far, so of course still have the Tyrogue on hand. And I'm gonna head back to the Dragon's Den off screen because, well, there are gonna be Magikarps on the way, and I don't feel like wasting a repel. Just running away from the Magikarps goes just as well. So I'm gonna head back to the Dragon's Den, and I'll see you in just a moment. There we go, we're back at the Dragon's Den, and you gotta talk to this guy, and he's gonna be the one who gives you the Extreme Speed Dratini. Okay, I now know your worth, okay. Wonder if I did it right. I hope I did it right, because if I gave you the wrong answers, then that would suck. That would really, really suck if I gave you the wrong answers, and then you copied me, and then you got no Extreme Speed on your Dratini. Let's see, does it have it? Yeah, it does! So, I'm gonna head back to Ekritique now. So, magical teleportation powers, go! Okay, back at Ekritique, and I'm gonna be doing some landscaping in my party here. Lots of transactions are gonna be needed because this next gauntlet is actually pretty difficult. Okay, Lapras, you're going back on my team. I won't need Ferret for a while. Raikou over there, and Wooper as an HM slave. Crobat in the lead. Reason being, I'm going to be fighting all five, and I can't change leads in between. So I'm going to need something that can deal some damage and switch out in order to keep the momentum. And wow! A complete Barry moment from Silver here. Thud! Yeah, glad to see the tradition is still going strong. Anyway, he got his ass kicked by the Kimono Girls. Though, to be fair, a lot of people have really struggled or even lost against the Kimono Girls on their first time through the game. So, I've been warned. I can't take them too lightly, else I'm gonna get my ass kicked. I'm gonna have to fight 5 trainers, each with their own evolution at level 38, without the ability to change leads, a very crucial ability in in-game Pokemon. He says, I don't want to see you win, and runs away like a crybaby. Yeah, he just knows that I'm going to wipe the floor with them. Though, it's hard to say that when I just said I can't afford to be cocky. Anyway, the first one here is the one that we met in Violet City, who seemed to recognize the mystery egg that I got from Professor Elm. And basically the deal is that they wanted this egg to be entrusted to someone who is pure of spirit that will be able to help them reawaken Lugia. That's right, folks. This entire thing with the Togepi egg has been orchestrated by the Kimono Girls all along. And now I'm going to be forced to run the gauntlet and fight the Kimono Girls. Next time.